Hello, and welcome to the GLEAM video series that are intended to help support you as you collaboratively work with your diverse team to develop your GLEAM Pre-K through 12 program grant proposal. In this video, we will be focusing on Part D of the application. I'm Allison Pickens, the GLEAM Grant Coordinator and an ELA Literacy Support Specialist. In addition to hosting these videos, I am here to help support you every step of the way during the application process. Part D of the application calls on applicants to demonstrate favorable conditions and the resources necessary to make and sustain meaningful literacy program improvements. It is expected that districts will maintain new programs, interventions, and structures beyond the grant funding period and extend those programs, interventions, and structures across the district to result in the deep and lasting improvements in literacy. Thus, a successful answer to Part D will outline the conditions and resources specific to district's local context that will support the creation and sustainability of meaningful literacy program improvements. The objective for this video is to break down different conditions and resources needed for districts to make and sustain improvements, and to support applicants in effectively demonstrating that they have those conditions and resources necessary to make and sustain meaningful literacy program improvements for all students. Part D of the application is a series of 3 short answer questions. We will examine each one. To start, we will address professional learning time and educator time and capacity that may impact applicants' abilities to make and sustain improvements. Then we will address district's equity work before ending with a summary Q&A and information about opportunities for further support. Question D1 of the application asks applicants to share how much professional learning time is provided annually for teachers in participating schools and grades. This question is specific to participating schools and grades identified in Part A and should break down the annual professional learning time by format. This question aims to help us determine districts' available resources for making and sustaining lasting change. Both the development and continued implementation of literacy programmatic improvements will require ample dedicated time, and in some cases, school-wide approaches to shift practice. To answer this question successfully, applicants will have to know how much time is provided for whole school and whole district workshops, grade level team meetings, collaborative planning time, professional learning communities, etc. It is important that applicants be as detailed as possible in sharing how much professional learning time teachers are provided each year to support their content and/or pedagogical growth as they work to skillfully implement GLEAM Grant activities. The next question in Part D asks applicants to address educator and administrator time and capacity that may relate to and/or impact GLEAM Grant activities and the making and sustaining of meaningful literacy program improvements for all students. Question D2 asks applicants to explain how the district will ensure educators and administrators will be given the time and capacity to fully participate in GLEAM. This question's purpose is for districts to share how they will ensure full commitment to GLEAM. GLEAM requires a great deal of time and investment from educators and administrators. GLEAM requires that participating educators and administrators be diverse in role, experience, and perspective. We know that educators have very full plates, so it is important that districts develop and implement strategies to provide time and capacity for educators to fully participate in growing literacy equity across the district. In this question, applicants should evaluate the current time and capacity restrictions and expectations for educators and administrators in the district, including any district or school-wide initiatives that may impact educators' ability to fully participate in GLEAM. Also consider how educators will be informed of, be brought into the application process, and be empowered to participate fully. GLEAM is designed to make a transformative impact on recipients' ELA and literacy programming for students, and to redress disproportionate experiences and outcomes for all students, especially for students who have been historically underserved, such as English learners, students of color, students with disabilities, and low-income students. Question D3 of the application asks applicants to describe the strengths and areas for growth with regard to equity work at the district level. Equity is at the heart of the GLEAM program, intended to improve literacy experiences and outcomes for all students, especially those who have been historically underserved. GLEAM will support districts to improve upon existing equity work and will require full commitment to advancing equity at the system and classroom level. In question D3, applicants will see a non-exhaustive list of traits and values present in equity-driven districts. Please note that this list is just a reference point for applicants and is not a comprehensive nor exhaustive list of equity-driven traits and values. First, districts will be asked to describe 2 values or traits of equity-driven districts that are central to the work currently happening in their district. Applicants are free to use the list included in the application, but are not limited to that sample list. In your response, consider what has been prioritized at the district and school level with regard to equity. Consider the work already done to address and redress disproportionality in student experience and outcome, both inside and outside of the classroom. Provide evidence to support your responses and feel free to link to relevant work or artifacts. Next, districts will be asked to describe 2 values or traits that are in need of more investment and support to effectively grow literacy equity in your district. For this portion of the question, consider future equity goals in your district, data that demonstrates specific areas for growth. Provide specific examples and evidence to support your answer and include goals for how to address those 2 equity traits in need for more investment. Now let's turn to some frequently asked questions about Part D of the application. How specific should we be in breaking down annual professional learning time? In answering D1, you should break down annual professional learning time by format. Consider how much time is allotted for district-wide meetings, whole school workshops, grade level team meetings, collaborative planning time, etc. Please be as detailed as possible. What should we consider to effectively answer questions about educator time and capacity? In answering D2, consider how the district and participating schools can ensure that educators and administrators are fully informed about the GLEAM Grant program, have the capacity and time to participate, and are empowered to participate in the GLEAM work. Consider how educators' time and workload will be balanced to allow for full participation. What should we consider when explaining and analyzing our district's equity work? First, you will describe 2 traits of equity-driven districts that are central to the work happening in your district. You may, but do not have to, use the sample list of equity-driven traits included in the application. Consider the work your district has focused on in the past few years to address equity and redress disproportionate outcomes for historically underserved students. Provide examples of the progress you've made in improving educational equity district-wide. For the second portion of D3, describe 2 traits of equity-driven districts that are in need of more investment and support in your district. Consider what your goals are for future equity work. Where do you see areas for growth in your district? What work still needs to happen to address and redress disproportionate student experiences and outcomes? There are many opportunities for support provided to districts who are applying for the GLEAM program grants. If you have a question about GLEAM, please email me at gleam@mass.gov or at allison.d.pickens@mass.gov. If you have questions about the budget, please email Gail Castle at gail.a.castle@mass.gov. For technical assistance, if you want a more personal experience, register in the GLEAM website for our weekly office hours, which are held every Monday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. You may register once and sign up to attend all of them, so the dates are automatically added onto your calendar. Attend one or all of the office hours as needed. If you have questions about registering, please email me and I am happy to assist you. We encourage you to visit the GLEAM website often to get updates, access resources, including the other videos in this video series, along with our posted Q&A and contact information. Thank you for your interest in the GLEAM grants and the investment of time to prepare their proposal. Before we wrap up, it is important to note how vital your feedback is to us. We are here to help support you in the development of high-quality collaborative GLEAM program grant proposals. Please take a moment to complete the survey on the GLEAM website about your experience with this video series. Thank you for your time.